Hello, everybody, finally, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer. I'm joined by my two favorite Wednesday show hosts, Terry DeMandis.
Hello.
And Jen T. Maxey.
Hello. I'm
just
letting you know, Hammer. I let Tier know that everything's okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, so everybody's saying, hey, you're late. Yeah, we are late. You're right, we are late, but it's only because the stream key got changed. And I don't know where.
It's all Tier's fault. That's all that anyone needs to know.
It looks like the one on YouTube has been changed. So I had to go to OBS and say, hey, this is a new key. And of course, at that point, everything worked. But I don't know why anybody would change our stream key because it hasn't been changed for years. Maybe Reject did it, after the show last night just to add security. But anybody who's going to run the stream from now on, if it has been changed on our channel, everyone's going to have to be distributed the new keys so that they can host again. I plugged it into OBS because OBS was the one that found it. I said, sorry, I can't stream that key's invalid. So I plugged the key into OBS and I said, try it now, and it worked. So there is no real technical difficulty. It just seems like a misconfiguration somewhere along the line. It could have been me. I could have gone into OBS. I'm sitting here thinking about it. I could have gone into OBS at some point and clicked on something, hitting Control V and pasted in something in there, because the key that was in there didn't look anything like the key that I saw on YouTube. So maybe it was me. I don't know. But I didn't change anything on YouTube. So tomorrow night's host should be fine.
It would be funny if the stream key that you had in OBS was like a shopping list or something.
It kind of looked like a stream key for Rumble, to be honest with you. It looked like the Rumble stream key, but I can't imagine how that would have gotten there because I don't have to copy the Rumble stream key over. That's also automated now, so you don't have to copy it anymore. So why would it be there? Doesn't make any sense. But we're here. Before we get into the topics that we're not going to get to tonight, why don't we go ahead and say hello to everybody in chat?
I have a very easy time. Hello to Jack Gunsky and WR Corsten.
Rumble people are starting to come in a little bit later like the people on YouTube do. Everybody's coming in at like 9:15, 9:20. That's okay. Still going to do the Rumble show because everybody who watches the Rumble show knows there's things that happen in the Rumble show that aren't allowed on YouTube. So that's okay. I don't mind. It's a nice prep before the show to get all of the things you shouldn't say out ahead of time. That way you're not so tempted to say them during the show and then get the channel banned like I have done twice now. So
yeah. And people are starting to fill in the YouTube chat. I just saw Johnny and JB.
Okay.
Hey, I could probably do that now.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hello, Hammer.
Hello.
Hello, Bad Dog Unlimited. Hi, Terry.
That's James Colley.
I know. But for right now, that's not his name. He's
true.
Guys. Hi, Rotten. How are you? Hi, Keishel. Hi, Keep It In. Hi, Mykar. Scroll down a little more. Hello to myself. Hi, Jack. And the stream. Hi, Johnny Hellcat. Just so you know, the key changed. Hi, JB. I have to remember to thank Tier for responding at the very least, because I think he was working.
Never thank you for anything.
Hi, Frosted. There he is.
Hi,
Tier. See, you're right here. I can thank you right now. Thank you, Tier.
People on Rumble and people on YouTube are not the same people, because there's a green badger, but there's also a green badger outdoors, and there are two different people.
True.
Yeah. So yes, thank you, Tier, for checking up. I'm sorry if we caught you in the middle of something, but somehow something got changed somewhere along the way, and we couldn't get the show started on time on YouTube, but we're all good now, so everything's wonderful. So let's go over the topics, even though we won't actually get a chance to talk about any of them.
Yeah.
Topics are boom, interested, and deployed.
So the first one is obviously about Will Smith shaking the room.
The first one is actually about it's not cell phones, it's pagers and walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah and Hamas exploding and hurting people. No one's been killed by Israeli hackers, government hackers. Each one of these cell phones that Hezbollah and Hamas purchased had a tiny explosive inside them. They were set up, and Israel, I guess the government there said, "Hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to set the explosive off." So a lot of people got hurt, but as far as I understand, nobody got killed.
Okay.
So that's what that's all about. It's hackery, and that's what kind of raised my, because it's going to be something simple like this. It's going to be something. I mean, people got hurt, and people are angry, but they're angry that Hamas got hurt. They're angry that Hezbollah got hurt. I'm not angry about that. You know, these are terrorists. If you're going to hurt somebody, I mean, granted, you're just hurting them. You're not. It's more of an embarrassment than anything. You know, that they could be set up like this and fall for it.
Someone set us up the bomb.
Exactly. So, so yeah, that was in big news today. People on Twitter and on YouTube are very much alight on this subject. People are actually coming to the defense of Hamas.
I kind of get why they were doing it for another reason, because I think a lot of it has to do with them making them paranoid about the cell phones in the first place. Because I wouldn't doubt that a lot of those, we probably hide a lot of activists, you know, and not just activists, but actual terrorists. But it's online too. So you got to think everyone with a cell phone, as long as they actually have an internet access, which I don't know if they do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if they do. I don't know if they do, but they probably do, right?
All you need is a VPN, and you can do whatever you want, man.
You know, like, don't get me wrong. I understand that people don't like violence, but this is a war between people, you know, and some of it is they're probably going after them for that shit too.
My general position is, if it happened in the Middle East, okay, I don't care.
I mean, it's terrorists. I mean, if all you did was hurt a few people, a few terrorists, well, I'm sorry, but I can't be sad about that. Now, if someone else innocent got hurt, well, that's not great, but they're at war. So, I mean,
yeah, no, it's like, I don't care. Like, the Israelis are going to do bad things to the Palestinians. The Palestinians are going to do bad things to the Israelis. That's just what war is. I can't get too bent out of shape one way or the other. I don't really care.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am on it. Like, I understand why they did it.
I think it was mostly just to embarrass them, make them look bad. And Hamas really doesn't care about Palestine at all. They just want to kill Jews. They don't really care about Palestine.
Yeah.
So if Palestinians get hurt, they're like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you got to think a cell phone's probably not necessarily easy to come by. And, well, do you think this is going to be the last time they do that?
This is pagers and walkie-talkies. This wasn't actually cell phones. Although, because these actually exploded. There was a charge inside to actually make it explode, as opposed to a cell phone, which can melt down and catch fire, but under very specific circumstances. And
you know what I think it was? I think it was, why are you still using a pager in 2024? You deserve your ear blown off.
It wasn't like it was like a half a kilo of C4 or anything like that. It was a small charge, but it was enough to cause burns and pain and that kind of stuff. So, yeah,
I'm no opinion on it really. They're at war, and
yeah. I mean, it's the embarrassing thing is that they were set up. It wasn't like these devices were innocent devices that they hacked and found a way to blow them up. They planned this. They put charges in them designed to do this at a later date. They were devious. So, yeah.
Well, I think Tier and I agree, but for different reasons. He's saying what's done in love and war is beyond good and evil. See, what's done to people who are on the other side of the planet and I don't know or care about is none of my business. I don't care. It's not that I think war excuses everything. That's nonsense. War crimes exist for a reason. But I do think that I don't know any Israelis. I don't know any Palestinians. I have no stake in this war. Let them do what they want. It's none of my business.
The only reason it can become somebody's business in the first place is through technology. You know,
Yeah.
we have the internet, we have long distance phone access and this, that, and the other things that we didn't used to have. We used to depend on a couple of television broadcast channels to find out what the news was. And that wasn't until, you know, a day later when something happens, and how much was covered was entirely up to them. So we wouldn't know about half the things that really happened. Now we know about everything the moment it occurs everywhere on the planet.
Yes.
So if you take away that technology and go back to the way it was before, suddenly this, you probably never even hear this. It would never have made its way to you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, no, it's very low on my list of interests, what happens in the Middle East. If I had friends in that area, then it would be different, but I don't. So like if something happened in America, that's also the opposite side of the world from me. But I know a lot of Americans, so I would actually have a vested stake in what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a single Israeli or Palestinian, so none of my business.
I don't either. It is sad that these things are happening. That's about as invested as I can get.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's sad. It'd be
Yeah,
nice if
I
this
agree.
didn't happen, but that's about as invested as I am in it. So I do know quite a few Jewish people, but I don't know if that necessarily points to specifically Israel, because there's certainly plenty of people living in Israel who are not Jews.
Yeah, I mean, I'm friends with Angela. She's Jewish, but she's not Israeli. There's a big
Right.
difference.
Right. So, yeah. But I'm just afraid of what the next step is. You know, there's always this looming cloud of propagation. You
As
did
long as
this,
they
well, we're
keep
going to do that. And you did
it-
that, well, we're going to do this, you know?
As long as they keep it to the Middle East, I don't care what they do. If they start encroaching into other areas that I care about, then I'll take an interest. But if it's just the Middle East, yeah, turn it to glass. I wouldn't notice.
The only thing that complicates this is Israel is a formal ally of the United States.
Yes.
That's the only thing that's a glitch here. If we didn't have that connection, then I would probably feel the same way as you do. I'd wash my hands of it. Oh well, I hope they figure it out. Meanwhile, what's for dinner tonight? You know, that's kind of the opinion it would be. But we've pledged to be their ally, so to some degree, we will be protecting them. Which means
Well,
if they get
I mean,
attacked,
I think there's a difference, though. I mean, from a legal and military perspective, yes, America has to defend Israel because they're allies. On a personal level, you don't have to give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
maybe Australia, because I think Australia is allies with America. So if America goes to war, like to defend Israel, maybe Australia would get roped into it.
maybe.
But like that doesn't mean I personally have to give a shit.
Well, but there is an impact there. If America does have to go to war, now I'm living in a country that is at war.
Yeah.
In an active war. So that's going to affect our economy. You know, if I had a job, it might affect my job. You know?
And Terry saying Terry would care if Maryland got invaded by Hamas. I mean, only if you were directly involved. Like, I think you're the only person in that area that I know. So, I mean, I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you, but I don't know anyone else in the area.
I mean, it's okay if they invade Baltimore. That place is awful.
Yeah.
And I'm not partisan here. If they took over Philadelphia, that'd be fine with me. So
yeah, I'm basically if it's going to affect people I care about, then I care. But there's not many of those. So If they attacked Pennsylvania but left you alone, all right, and fine.
It'd be hard considering where I live and how I live for me to really care that much, because
Yeah,
I might have to move my parents' house back to the farm. That would be the worst
Yeah.
thing that could possibly happen. Oh, darn. I have a much bigger place to live with much more land and much nicer house. And darn, that's going to be so hard on me. But I mean, I got 160 acres out the farm. I'm going to see them coming long before they get close to me. So,
yeah. In the same way that my interest in Montana begins and ends with Johnny Hellcat. Like that is the only reason I'm aware Montana exists. Is Johnny Hellcat? Is like I have no reason to care about it except that one of my friends lives there.
yeah. I think Matt lives in Montana, doesn't he?
Yes,
Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Sorry,
Oh.
had to point that out. Just to terrify him.
but yeah, I mean, it comes down to taking care of one of your local allies, because that's the only democracy in the area. You know, everything else is not. So I mean, you want to try to protect that, and it's been a long-standing relationship. I just don't think the Biden. I try to avoid saying a regime, but it's probably the best at this point to call them that.
Yeah.
Really cares about Israel. I think they're doing what they have to do, because there'd be too much pushback if they didn't.
So
Where-
Chad is confirming that Matt Christensen does live in Montana.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of that meme. Is like, if I had a penny for every time I met a person who lived in Montana, I'd have 2 pennies, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
The only time I ever really think about Montana is there's a line in the movie The Hunt for Red October, where the second in command says, I think when I moved to America, I would want a house in Montana. He calls it Montana because he's German, you know, and have a fat American wife and chickens and all that kind of stuff. And they both laugh about it. And the mispronunciation of the word Montana kind of stuck in my head. So every time I hear people talk about Montana, I hear Montana in my head.
And apparently Seal 77 also lives in Montana, says Johnny Hellcat. I don't know who that
I've
is.
seen that name, but I don't know who that is either.
But it's someone in chat, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the splody things that are happening with Israel and Hezbollah and Hamas right now. So we'll see where that goes. But you're antagonizing 2 terrorist groups. We already have our problems with Hamas. The last thing you want to do is bring Hezbollah on board. Now you got 2 people, and then you have the Houthis to the north. So you're surrounded on 3 sides, you know, on the left, on the right, and the top, and below you is Egypt. So what are you doing? You know,
Egypt. I know. Well, I don't know him, but I know of one person in Egypt, which is a Street Fighter player. That's it. That's my entire knowledge of Egypt.
Oh.
There's a guy. He calls himself MC Mura. He lives in Egypt.
Funny thing about Egypt is I had a much different visual perception of Egypt when I was younger than I do now. Back then, I thought Egypt was a pretty democratic area, a pretty comparable to Western values area. And it had, you know, pyramids, and there was, you know, it had money, it was rich, and had this great culture and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't realize, that they're really not that much different from Lebanon or Syria or anything else on that area. I'm like, oh, geez. I kind of romanticized Egypt a little bit, maybe because when I was growing up, Hollywood romanticized Egypt.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I accepted that as what it was, you know. So now it's kind of like, you don't want to go there. Have you heard about what's going on in Venezuela?
Not recently.
Bolsonaro just arrested an American citizen for espionage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that he's got a couple of people. And what he does, it seems to be a running thing for him, is that he routinely grabs American citizens for questionable reasons and then trades them for people he wants that America has. So he grabs our innocent people and he trades them for bad people.
Right. No, but that makes sense from like it's not it's an evil thing to do, but it makes sense for someone who has no morals that this is what you want, this is the way to get it.
I think this is partially in response to America saying that the election there was rigged, because it was rigged, as far as we can tell.
I mean, we're on YouTube, so I can't officially say that I think every election is rigged. But if I wasn't on YouTube, I might make suggestions. If I wasn't on YouTube, I might make suggestions to that effect. But since we are on YouTube, only Venezuelan elections are rigged. American ones are
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, they're sanctified by God.
Not just sanctified, fortified.
Yes, God came down, counted the votes himself. He made sure there was nothing wrong with any of them.
There was nothing widespread. It wasn't widespread.
Yes. So,
the magic word again.
Unless Trump wins, in which case they are rigged and he stole the election.
Yeah. It's only bad when someone else does it.
Yeah.
No, it's everything is very honest and upfront and above board. Absolutely.
Of course.
There is something going on, not to jump around to too many topics here, but there is something going around in Georgia where they've got a portal set up where you can cancel people who are no longer on the voter registration forms. Like they're still there, but they're passed or they've moved out.
Yeah.
And they found a glitch in it, and they were unregistering people who were supposed to be registered.
Oh dear.
All you needed was their name, county, I think, and their age or something like that. You didn't have to pass.
You need more than that. You should need more than that.
Yeah. And then they changed it so you needed a driver's license or flash forward the social security number. But then if you inspected the HTML when it asked you for that, the answer was right there in the HTML. So I just read the HTML and then plug it back in.
They need to get someone who actually knows computers to code this thing.
Yeah. When somebody says teach you how to code, well, I mean, those are the people who just learned yesterday.
Yeah, but speaking of glitches, I'm assuming you heard about the free money glitch in the bank.
Yeah, a couple days ago I heard about that. Why don't you tell everybody?
That was hilarious. So there was a TikTok trend where essentially you could write a bad check to yourself, deposit it in Chase Bank, and for some reason there was a glitch where it wouldn't hold the check until it cleared, so you could withdraw the funds immediately. And so I don't know how many people were dumb enough to actually do this, but you could. And then when the check cleared, your balance went like minus 40,000, 100,000, however much it was that you decided to steal. So yeah, a whole bunch of people committed check fraud, and it was a viral TikTok trend.
Yeah, basically check fraud. That's correct. So now all these people have to pay this money back, and on top of that,
they're in trouble.
Yeah, and on top of that, fees for overdrafting.
Yeah.
And those fees were significant because you overdrafted a lot of money. The poll is out for the music for tonight.
Okay.
And I think if you look at the music, you'll know what the band is. For those who don't, that would be Genesis. That's not Phil Collins.
Yes, of course.
I did that one.
It's actually Genesis because Phil has his own songs.
Yeah, Phil's solo career does sound quite similar to a lot of Genesis stuff.
What's the same person singing?
No, but like some people go solo and then they can do their own thing. Like it sounds different from their work
the orchestration. Yeah, its orchestration is different because it's not their band, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of Phil Collins songs and Genesis songs where I wouldn't know which one was which unless I happen to already know.
Yeah, I just when I did the search, I said, give me your top 50 most popular Genesis songs. And then I checked to make sure that these appeared on Genesis albums and not on a Phil Collins album.
And
So
Frosted Glass says Genesis gay. So I'm going to take that to mean that Frosted does not like the Sega Mega Drive, which was known as the Genesis in the United States,
yeah,
and is in fact a Nintendo fan, which I approve of, as I was also a Nintendo fan when I was a kid.
Sega's commercial for the Genesis was a guy quickly yelling the word Sega, and that was the entirety of their motto. It's this guy going Sega, and that was it.
Fair enough.
It's very weird, but it caught on because it was so weird.
Yeah, but that was actually one of my greatest moments in Quippers United, where at the end of the final game you have to do a truth and a lie, and so I have read the Book of Genesis, or I used to own a Sega Genesis, and me being the video game guy, everyone assumed that I had a Genesis. It's like, nope, I was a Nintendo kid.
Did you? What'd you call it? Sega Genesis? It's Sega, right?
That was funny.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, I forget. I was watching a YouTube channel and someone else, Harmful Opinions was getting the shits because Australians call it Sega instead of Sega.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was cultural or you just made a mistake.
I've always called it Sega.
That's wild.
But yeah, Harmful Opinions was watching an Australian talk about video games and got the shits when she referred to a Sega, and like he got very cranky.
Yeah.
Yes, I did read the Book of Genesis. The biblical one. I'm not talking about. Maybe Phil Collins has a biography also by that name, but no. The first book of the Bible, I have read it.
Are you watching the poll results?
I had a look and it was very one-sided. It still is fairly one-sided, but
yeah,
closer to 50-50 than it was before.
Oddly so. Again, the chat has come from a completely different field than I thought they were going to come from. I thought I was in trouble, but apparently not at all. I mean, it's not balanced, but it's not balanced not because of what I was thinking.
So, well, I mean, I was torn between the middle two, as I said in the pre-show. So
right.
I ended up going for Land of Confusion, and it seems like people were like-minded.
Yeah, Land of Confusion is far out front with 9 votes, so I don't think that's going to change. So I don't mind poisoning the well a little bit, but I didn't think tonight would get even 1 vote. It's a slow song.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Invisible Touch is.
I like that song.
Probably their most popular song as a band. Land of Confusion is a quick second, but of all of them, I like the orchestration in Abacat the most. Yeah,
for me, it was Invisible Touch or Land of Confusion, and I ended up going Land of Confusion.
Well, I mentioned in the pre-show on Rumble that the orchestration for Land of Confusion is unique. I've never heard a song like it, and I haven't heard a song after it that sounds like it. It's a very unique orchestration for that song. So
you want to know something crazy? I heard the Disturbed version of Land of Confusion before I heard the Genesis version. And so I didn't even know it was a cover song until like much later, because I discovered Disturbed through Guitar Hero. I was like, okay, this is a cool band. Oh yeah, Land of Confusion, this is a great song. And I was like, wait, people are saying it's a cover. Google. Oh, it's a Genesis song. Let me listen to that.
Yeah. Kind of grew up around the time of Phil Collins, so I knew the song in its original.
Yeah, I think I probably heard Land of Confusion as a kid and just forgot about it, because when I saw the video, like the music video for Land of Confusion, I was like, oh no, I have seen this. Yeah. With the rubbery figures, the puppets.
There's certain videos that just were so different for their time that they stick out. That's one of them.
And just quickly, I called it a SNES, JB.
SNES.
He says he called it the SNES. I called it the SNES. Or the Super Nintendo.
Oh my.
All right. Well, I think we're well out in front. I'm not even going to bother, but I'm just going to end the poll.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty clear winner.
Yeah, tonight's outro music will be Land of Confusion.
Sometimes that's what the people want,
Give them what they want.
right?
Now we have to discuss H.
This is the world we live in.
Now we have to discuss H. What's going to be H? We talked
So
about one of them already. We actually talked about two, didn't we? Because it was
yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I
Huey.
remember Heart.
Heart was
Well,
one.
Huey was the one we did last time,
Right.
so we can't do that again. I was thinking. I know we talked about Heart. There was another H band that we mentioned.
Right.
Like it's slipping my mind.
Mine too. Jen, you were here when we were talking about this, weren't you?
I mean,
We could
in
we
spirit,
we could go Hailstorm. Hailstorm. Is
Yeah, it's likely.
Heart I would pick. I'd pick Heart. No, but I'm biased.
Yeah, we got a lot of votes already for Heart. Oh, Hall & Oates was the other one. There you go.
That's it. Paul and
Jack got us because
Jack
Jack was on whatchamacallit, on Rumble, so he heard that discussion.
It will not be Hoobastank, though we appreciate the suggestion, Keith.
Hoobastank.
Yeah. No, I think Heart and Hall & Oates are both good options.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to pick between those two.
Oh, here says Hootie and the Blowfish. I don't think Hootie's got a chance against the other two, I'm afraid.
Who do you run to? Heart? Hall & Oates.
I mean, I guess Heart. If I'd vote for Heart, but I'd be happy with either.
You want to run let's run a poll and see what chat thinks. Let them pick.
There you go. That works.
Do you like that?
And Mike does not approve of the suggestion of Hoobastank. And Keith, we did Huey Lewis last time, so we can't do it again.
Yeah. This is it. Can't do it again. I'm just thinking of song titles. That's a song by Huey and Lewis News. This is it.
Yeah, it would be funny if we did Huey Lewis every single time, but we could probably not.
It's like doing ABBA every time, because ABBA is a super group, not just a group.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do an ampersand, which I think is the correct way, if I remember correctly.
And Gunsky says he likes Huey Lewis because he seems fun.
So I'm going to let everybody pick. We used to cover Heart in my band.
Okay.
We did Who Will You Run To, and what was the other one we did?
I think my favorite Heart song is Barracuda.
Yeah, it's very well known. It's their first big hit. We didn't do that. We did the later stuff.
I've got bad news for you, Mr. Hammer. You might need to break a tie.
Did you guys vote?
I voted ages ago.
Oh, I just started the poll. How could you vote ages ago?
Oh, this new one. Sorry. Not this new one. Old one, yes.
And I agree with Frosted. I mean, we can't do Huey Lewis because we did it last time, but yes, mute Jack in chat if next time you do Huey Lewis. Because he's just going to do the speech from American Psycho. That's what that's referring to.
Hinges suck.
She's just complaining about work.
Oh, okay. I was like, I never heard of that band.
No, she's talking about work. She's obviously working on making hinges. Dream Dad just says Henry Rollins. Probably not going to.
Don't know who that is either.
I think he's a bit too heavy for us.
Yeah.
I don't know what his music sounds like, but I've seen the guy, and he gives the impression of not being suitable to close out our stream.
I think chat has to realize I am not from your generation.
Yes.
I don't know these people. It looks like Heart's got in the lead here.
Yeah, okay, so the tie has been broken. It's maybe people are protesting because you spelled oats wrong. You didn't put the E in oats.
Oh yeah, you're right. It didn't. I can't even see it. on my
Rigged.
screen.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. It looks like next week is Heart, right?
There you go.
I'm not going to be upset with that. Heart's
No, good band.
And how do I? There we go. End Paul. Thank you for your opinion on next week's band. It will be Heart. And the whole notes will be.
Henry Rollins was the lead singer for Black Flag, apparently. I don't know their music.
Don't know them either. I don't really know much music that's not within the mainstream, to be honest with you. Like there's like maybe one or two bands that people may never have heard of, but even those bands are from a time where if you were from my time, they would have been popular. Like you may not know who the Hooters are, but I know who the Hooters are.
There's three main places that I discovered bands that aren't mainstream. The first is Song Pop, which was a Facebook game where you would play like a short like snippet of a song, and the faster you guessed which song it was, the more points you got. And so I discovered bands through that. The other is Pandora, which I would pick a song that a band that I did know, like say Bon Jovi, and it would eventually suggest songs, like to start playing songs that I didn't recognize. And the other one is Guitar Hero. Obviously, Guitar Hero contains many, many songs, and many of them I had not heard of before.
The reason I know the Hooters is the drummer from the Hooters and my brother, who's 7 years older than me, went to high school together. So as the band was created, my brother used to go to watch them play. And they eventually hit it kind of big enough that, they had music deals and all that kind of stuff. And they were, not only were they a band that played music and had a couple of hits, but they actually wrote for other artists as well. Like Cyndi Lauper's song Time After Time.
Yes.
Yeah, Hooters wrote that.
Okay.
So
I don't know the band, but I am a fan of Hooters. I do like them.
Yeah, a couple of good hits. All You Zombies was one. And They Danced was one. I mean, I wouldn't say they stayed in the top 10 for more than a couple of weeks, but they did hit the top 10. So,
I did discover a song through Tony Hawk. I just remembered. I discovered Iron Maiden through Tony
Iron
Hawk.
Maiden, yeah. There are a lot of bands that I know only because other people know them. Like I've heard of Iron Maiden before. I've seen the logo, which is very gothic. I can see it in my mind. The words Iron Maiden and all these like
Iron Maiden are fantastic. They're a brilliant band. I really, really like their music.
Would they be my style of music though? Because knowing what the kind of music I like to listen to, would I enjoy that
probably
band?
Not. They might be a bit too heavy for you, but But like they're metal, but they're like 80s metal.
Yeah, Kiss is too heavy for me.
Well then, yeah, I'm probably not gonna like Iron Maiden a whole lot. But like I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and it's like Number of the Beast came on. It's like this song is amazing. Who sings it? It's like Iron Maiden. Oh, I've heard of these guys. Yeah. And so I went and I listened to a whole bunch of Iron Maiden songs, and they're all fucking amazing. They're really, really good.
There are certain songs though. I mean, I can't just write off and say I hate all metal. I can't do that because
no, of course not.
Wouldn't you consider Rammstein a metal band?
Yes.
I like some of their music.
I would consider them industrial metal. I think that's the genre that they fit in.
All right. But I mean,
and Frosted says Kiss is too gay for him. Fair enough.
Come on, man.
I can't disagree.
You're putting on makeup. Come on.
Yeah, which is kind of gay.
Yeah, kind of a lot. Yeah. But I really can't. I mean, what about Nightwish? Operatic metal, right?
Yeah. Nightwish is metal. They're symphonic metal.
So there's two. Sure, if I sat here and thought about it, there's a couple more.
Yeah, no. If you like Nightwish, there's other similar bands that I think you'd like. Epica and Within Temptation would be my two recommendations for Nightwish fans.
Yeah. I mean, how about there's other, what would you consider, what's the other guy who used to do makeup a lot?
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson. How about the guy, who's the guy who does Dragula? Who's that?
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie. Would you consider him metal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of metal people out there that I can listen to. I'm not completely, classic rock.
It's kind of like me, and I don't like rap, and like I joke that the Donkey Kong rap is the only one I like, but I mean, there's rap songs. There's that "Stand" by Eminem that I don't mind that. So there are exceptions. As a general rule, I don't like the genre. So it has to be an exceptionally good rap song for me to like it, because I don't like the genre.
I liked "Lose Yourself" from Eminem. I thought that was a good tune.
Well, yeah, that's another good one.
But if there's other rap artists like Exhibit, 50 Cent, that
I haven't heard any of their music.
You had them muted? What did you say?
I haven't heard any of their music.
Oh, you haven't heard any music? I thought you said you had them muted. I was like, wow, that's pretty drastic.
No.
You haven't heard about? You have to know "In the Club" from 50 Cent, right?
No.
Okay, that was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, but I don't listen to the radio, so it doesn't matter what songs are big hits. I'm not going to hear them unless
I'm not going to make it to you.
I actively seek them out.
Yeah, Jen, do you know the songs?
No.
How can I, a classic rock subscriber, know rap songs and you guys don't, and you're so much younger than me?
No, but like a song would have to be like "Call Me Maybe" levels of popular before I would find out about it against my will.
Against my will. Okay. Maybe I'm just a little more open to music because I grew up in the MTV generation.
Well, I mean,
back when they played music.
I'm open to a lot of different genres. It's just that rap tends not to be to my taste.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to actively seek out a rap song.
Everybody has their preferences. I think the only reason I liked "In the Club" was because I had a roommate who liked it and used to play it. Heard it enough, I was like, I kind of like that. That's how I got introduced to it. So it was his favorite song.
And Gunsky is trying to, I guess, one down me. Instead of trying to one up me, he's trying to say he knows even less rap than I do.
It's more, I think maybe it might be more prevalent in the States anyway.
Maybe, but no, I just thought it was funny. Like, I know even less rap than you do. Like, probably. I don't know much, but I can believe that there's someone who knows even less.
There's a lot of celebrity attached to it here in Hollywood, so I think that's why it's as big as it is. And you don't really see a huge rap game over in Europe.
Yeah,
you know, I'm sure there's clubs and stuff that play it, but it's not like it is here.
But like, I guess it's like pop rap, I guess. But like, You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. I like that song. Yeah. I like
classic rap.
I like Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby. I think there's rap adjacent songs that I enjoy.
Oh no,
that was funny.
Oh,
good. It was good. It was good. He was serious too, which makes it even better for him.
That is, in America, that is like the, short of being one of the two people who were on Milli Vanilli, Vanilla Ice is like the most hated person in music in the United States.
Oh no, I mean,
really is.
I'm not going to deny that he ripped off Under Pressure. Like he quite clearly did. But Under Pressure is great, so he stole from a great song. So his ripped off version is still kind of cool.
Well, there are certainly artists who rip off other artists, and they know they do it, and they do it. Some sample, some rip them off, some sound close enough. But really,
I think sampling and ripping off is basically the same thing.
Well, sampling is, I will pay you if you let me use this part of your song.
Yeah,
and I say, okay, that's an agreement, as opposed to being ripped off, where the artist doesn't earn anything from the song.
Sure, but I think
and that's what Vanilla Ice did. He ripped off a popular guy. That's a no-no.
That's a stupid thing to do. Like,
yes,
whether you agree with it or not, it's just stupid. Like
he took their bass line and added one note to the bass line that most people wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, but like Land Down Under, they got in huge trouble for using kookaburra sits in the old gum tree without permission.
Yeah,
and like I don't think they should have. I think that was like 2 seconds in a 3-4 minute song.
Yeah.
I don't think you got much of a case there, but they did get in trouble for it.
Yeah. The bass line in the Bowie song was dun 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 dun, and the Ice-T one is dun 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 dun. One extra dun.
Oh well, that's totally different. What was I thinking?
Completely different. And
why did we think of that?
He got away with it. He got away with it.
The one that always bothers me is what's it called? Something Bittersweet Symphony with
the Verve pipe.
The Verve, yeah. So what happened there was they actually had permission to use the sample, and then the Rolling Stones decided that they used too much of the sample and sued them anyway.
I thought it was that it was too popular, not that they used too much. That it went over so well.
Well, yeah, but they got the reason the fact that the song Bittersweet Symphony was so famous is probably what prompted them to sue. But the reason that they won the lawsuit is because they claimed that the Verve used too much of the song in theirs, and so their one hit, the one song that made them any money, they had to give all the profits to the Rolling Stones.
Well, they agreed to it. They didn't even fight it, right?
I think I don't know the details.
I thought the Stones said, "Hey, you used too much. We're going to sue you." And they said, "Oh, we just take the money." And they're like, "Okay." I don't think it was a big brouhaha. You save face. If nothing else, it's worth saving face. You know, people don't hate Verve. You know, they hate Ice-T because he fought it. You
mean Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice, whatever I said.
Ice-T is the one who's got news for you. That means you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Assassin says, I hate that Verve song. I do too.
And that is probably my favorite quote from any TV show ever. Is like, I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. And then Ice-T says, I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching whatever podcast last night, and they had Jake on from Jake Snake TV. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a podcaster.
No, never heard of him.
He's from Australia. You should know him because he's Australian. You're Australian.
Yeah, I know everyone in Australia. That's right.
That's what it is. Anyway, runs a podcast, definitely right wing, and he was saying that men shouldn't watch porn because it's gay.
Oh, I've heard that nonsense.
And the girl said, wait a minute, he's looking at, my boyfriend watches porn and he's looking at other girls. He gets in a mood and he comes and attacks me. How can you call that gay? He says, because you have a girl in the next room and you'd rather look at pictures. That's gay.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be like the, I forget which comedian it was. It might have been Bill Burr. There's a comedian saying that everyone is a little bit gay. And it's like, not me. He's like, well, do you only watch lesbian porn? I'm like, no. So you watch naked dudes? It's like, well, yeah. There you go. Proof.
Yeah, I don't think that was Bill. It
wasn't him, but
because I remember that stand up because after he makes that point, from the person's point of view, he says,
Ron White, maybe?
he says, I didn't know that about myself.
Yeah. Was it me?
I think it was Ron White. I think it was Ron White. Now that you mention it, yeah. I was thinking of the group. I was thinking of Here's Your Sign. Yeah, Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Right. I was thinking of one of those 4 people. I couldn't pin down which one it was, but yeah, it's Ron.
Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure it was Ron White.
Yeah, I didn't know that about myself. I can't even hear him say it. You know the way he says it.
Yeah.
Tater salad.
People in chat are agreeing it's Ron White.
Yeah, Ron White.
And another, this is one I legit don't know the name of the comedian, but they're talking about like war, and he's saying the Arabs are like, why don't you come down and fight us like men? He's like, we don't have to. Here, catch. He mimes throwing a bomb off a plane.
Who was that? Who was the comedian?
I wish I could remember the guy's name. Oh, that cracked me up. He's like, we don't have to. Catch.
I've been watching a lot of comedy lately. I was watching Gallagher the other night.
Oh yeah.
He was exploding watermelons on people. It's pretty funny.
Yes. That's the one thing I know him for is the watermelons.
Well, he did the Toon Tom Boom Bomb thing too with the flipping letters. You ever see that?
No.
He's talking about how American language is all screwed up, and he has a flip chart and it has the word bomb on it. B-O-M-B bomb, 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 bomb. He flips it over and there's a T and he says, T-O-M-B, Tom? No, this is Tomb.
Right. Okay.
And then he flips over another, says, Tomb? This is Tomb? And he flips over another number and it's like an S. Tomb? No, this is some. So he goes through like 50 of them. And at the end he says, and then he finishes it with numb.
Yes.
And then the last thing he says, in my opinion, this stuff is crazy. And he flips over the letter D.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb.
Yes.
That's how he ends this skit. It's pretty funny. Sometimes I think some of the older humor is much better than what we see today. I like some of the newer guys too, but some of that older stuff is much more clever.
Yeah.
Than today.
I basically hold by the rule: anything from after 1999 has to be exceptional for me to like it.
Yeah, there's a young guy, Bo Burnham.
I've heard of him.
Who did a skit that was really hilarious about he has a tendency to he does a stand-up routine, but he also employs music with his show. So he writes songs that are funny. He's telling jokes while playing music and rhyming, all that kind of stuff, and it's really hilarious. I'll send you a link to the one that I think is probably the funniest. You can play it after the show.
Cool.
Before we end, because it's 10 o'clock, I do want to mention Deployed, which was the Interested is the Fed is planning on dropping the interest rate by 0.5%, which actually turns out to be a lot of money and should spur the economy. People will start getting loans again and spending money again. We'll see if that happens. But usually it's a 0.1%, 0.2%. They went 0.5 right off the bat.
Wow.
Pretty big leap for the Fed to do something like that. That was one of the other stories. And finally, the last story was Deployed. Russia is moving soldiers around in their country, and America's responding by putting more soldiers in Alaska due to Russian military area activity in the area. Now, I don't know why the Russians. I've heard many times Russia keeps saying that they think Alaska still belongs to them, even though they sold it to us fair and square.
That's weird.
They got taken for a sleigh ride in July. I had to use that joke, by the way, because it is Alaska after all.
Yeah.
That we paid very little for it, and it's got lots of gold and it's got lots of oil. And now Russia is sorry they sold it to us. They're trying to say that they want it back. So
tough shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not the right color for that. Sorry.
So that would be a huge mistake, because you're talking about being right next to some of our biggest military installations, are right near Alaska. That's the last place you want to go after. If you want to go after something, you want to go after like Montana. That's the place to go. You'd have to go through Canada to get there, but that's what you would have to do. You'd have to come up from the south. Considering the borders available through the south, is probably the easiest way. But you really don't want to go through Alaska, because Alaska has got just a whole ton of weapons ready to go. And you don't want to fight there.
Right.
And our weapons are designed for the cold. So, because they're already, Alaska, it's cold there. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Oh, what was the song we played? Land of Confusion, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to have to play that. Maybe I should cue that up. Seeing as how we're over time, and my stomach is eating a small hole through my intestines because I'm so hungry. I didn't eat anything today because I had an upset stomach since I got up, and I figured anything I eat is just going to make me sicker through the rest of the day. So I'll save it to till after the show is over.
That always sucks.
Fair enough.
Pictures, night stream, music, 8 modified. Wait a minute. Where's my music at?
Yeah, your pictures folder.
Yeah, I went there. It's not there. No, I forgot to move it over. I prep all my music by using UVR to pull the voices out. And once I got all the voices out and the files named properly, I move them into the pictures folder from my UVR folder, Universal Voice Remover. I used to remove the voices from the songs. I forgot to move them over, so they're in the UVR folder. So unless you guys have something else, we can get out of here.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Sure?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. I changed the outro so it reads properly. So thanks the first time. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday show, remember, the meeting is live every evening except Tuesday, with most shows starting at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 6 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. Don't forget about the Rumble pre-show. My stream will start generally a half an hour before YouTube. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.